go ahead and start in mountain pose, everyone. Thanks for being here. We'll just take a few moments as we continue to prepare for our practice, standing nice and tall. Just create a strong foundation for yourself. Just notice the ground underneath you. Aligning yourself here. Awareness of perhaps just the shift of weight in your body and where you're settling that weight. Maybe it's to the left or to the right or even forward towards your toes or back into your heels. And you can even kind of sway and kind of play with those points and then see if you can just find that center. Finding that center point. Maybe your breath can help you to kind of lock into that steadiness, that connection, balance. And of course, breath is a foundation, just as standing tall is a foundation. A foundation for our practice. It allows us to be here in the moment, still and calm. And soon breath will help guide us and move us through our practice today. We'll be focusing on our outer hips and kind of inner thighs too, but a particular focus on outer hips. And as always, remembering that this is your practice. I feel like I'm just guiding you, giving you suggestions on how you could move. But really pay attention, listen to your own body, listen to what you need. So modify as you need to, rest, even do different poses as they call to you. Continue to prepare, just feel the breath rising upward as you inhale, filling up your lungs. And a slow and controlled exhale, draw belly in towards spine. Again, inhale, feel yourself grow a little taller, lengthening in the spine. Breath filling up your lungs. And the exhale, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles, drawing inward, connecting to your center. And take a few more breaths like that. Now as we prepare our bodies to move, take 3 more slow breaths. Deepening this connection. And ready to move with breath. Let's inhale and extend the arms out and up. Just reach into the air. Nice stretch quality in the body, nice. And exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You might touch your toes when you fold, or you might come down partially where your hands might land at your shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine, creating a long, flat back. Exhale, fold, make your way down. Again, a partial fold or a full fold. And just notice these sensations. Maybe most of the sensation is created in the hamstrings or even in your low back. But also aware of other parts of the body that are experiencing sensation. Your knees, your shoulders, your head and neck, your feet. Either hold in stillness or add a little movement here as it feels right. And then a weight shift into your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down into a low chair. Good. Look forward. Spread your wings. Then inhale. Stand up tall. Reach for the ceiling. And exhale. You can bring your palms together and down to your heart, or bring your arms down by your side, completing that flow of the body. Let's do that again. Whenever you're ready, inhale. Sweep your arms out and up. Reach high. Exhale. Let's fold forward. Always okay to bend your knees a little or a lot, touching the ground or your toes or just your shins. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs and extend through the back body. Exhale, refold. And if you're able, just come to a complete folding sensation. As we're moving right away, shifting weight into the heels, bend your knees, look forward. Again, spread your wings. Inhale, that's it, reaching up a bit higher as you're able. Exhale, hands to your heart or down by your side. Let's just pause for a moment, reconnect, finding your center, breath, stillness. And just continue to add on. Our sun salutation. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Good energy through your fingertips. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, soft knees, guiding your way down towards toes. Inhale, rising up halfway to extend the back body like a table. Good, right there. Exhale, fold and bend. Get low enough so you can place your hands on your mat and just walk or step, or if you're ready, even hop both feet back to the back end of your mat. You'll be in plank pose for a breath or two. Some good strength in the body, just some awareness here. Then breathing in, preparing the body to move. Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air. Our shortcut to downward facing dog. Once in down dog, just adjust your feet on your mat, even adjust your hands. We'll be here for a moment, so stay here as long as you can, but if you need to rest, you can always come down to your knees if you need to. First, just settling into the pose, arriving in the posture, and then you might add some movement. It might just be a pedaling of the feet, yeah. Press one heel down, stretch, as the other heel lifts, and then alternate, press and lift. So you can feel that lengthening sensation in the calf muscles. When you lift the heels, that stretch through the toes. And as you're creating this little walking sensation, let your knees bend. And with that knee bend, you might even feel your hips kind of shift side to side. You can even exaggerate that because it might even get into the outer hips a little bit. You might even just kind of push with some exaggeration of your hip out to the side and then the other side. And just notice how that feels for you. Just take a full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. Bend your knees, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat, returning to a forward fold. Inhale, extending through spine. Exhale, fold. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive so you can grow tall once again. And this exhale, take chair pose or a chair-like position. Just sitting back. There's a weight shift into the heels and hips. Nice counterbalance as you extend your arms outward. Let's breathe in and exhale, diving forward. Here's forward fold. Inhale, re-extend spine. Exhale, fold, bend, get low enough, hands to the mat, walk, step, or hop, both feet back, plank pose. Pause for a moment as you arrive in the posture. As before, you're welcome to take the shortcut to down dog or bend elbows with an exhale, come down to Chaturanga Dandasana, four-limb staff pose. Inhale, maybe up dog or a cobra pose, a nice back bend. And exhale, lifting hips up into the air, downward facing dog. And again, maybe just stepping into place, adjusting feet and hands. Even feel free to do another couple of pedaling sensations if you'd like. And getting ready for the next part of the sequence. You're going to inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching for the wall behind you. Exhale, let's guide right foot to the top of the mat, landing. Left heel turns to the floor. Find that balance between both feet. Make that shift. Elongate through your spine, then hinge from hips. And inhale to rise, reaching into the air, warrior one. Exhale, hinge and fold. Nice. Bring your hands back down to the floor. We'll step back into plank pose. Again, a shortcut to down dog is fine, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Love that. Yeah, you can bring knees to the floor first. Love that. Bend elbows, then lower the chest. Take a low cobra if you want as your back bend. That's a nice option. Exhale, downward facing dog. Creating the vinyasa that feels right. It might be different every time. When you're ready, inhale, extend the left leg into the air, reaching back behind you with good energy. Exhale to help step through. Landing up top. Yep, right heel turns to the floor, shifting, extending through the spine. Then your inhale. Yep, rising up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, fold. Hands back down to the floor. Step back into plank pose. Complete the series as you like. Meeting together in downward facing dog. Excellent. Just moving with breath. Arriving in your down dog for a breath or two. Then we'll make our way down to the ground. You might just kneel down. Take a brief seat back into hero, then sit off to the side so you can swing the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. You might even just bring knees into chest. Hug the knees in. Add some movement there, if you'd like. And then eventually just setting the feet on the floor, knees bent, preparing for bridge pose. Just plant the feet. A couple of ways you can actually place the feet. For me, I like to have my feet a bit wider on my mat. Just provides a little bit more space for my low back and hips. You can always have feet and knees about hip distance apart. Now inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your core center, and then lift your hips up into the air. Even when you've lifted or after you've lifted, you can also make those adjustments with the feet and even your upper body, your arms and hands. As you're able, maybe getting shoulders a bit underneath you, squeezing shoulder blades together. Arms can be flat on the ground or bending at the elbows, or your fingertips are reaching for the ceiling, while your shoulders and the triceps and elbows might be pressing down into the ground to help you lift and open, especially in the upper body. That's it. 3 more breaths. Maybe with these 3 breaths, a little bit more energy around the breathing. And then just wiggle the feet forward a little bit, extend your arms into the air, making space so you can safely roll back down to the earth. Making a nice soft landing there. Go ahead and draw knees into chest. Start a gentle or careful rocking forward and back. With a good exhale, rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. So here for boat, we're in a V shape with the body, nice angled straight spine. You can hold on to the bent knees here with your hands. Lifting, extending. Knees can stay bent. You can certainly straighten the legs, maybe point toes, or keep them bent, flexed feet. Breathing deeply, Breathing in to fill up your lungs. Exhale to engage. Holding on for the duration, or of course, freeing up the hands. Let's go ahead and move here. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, roll forward onto your hands, or even just to the side here, so you can just step or just swing the feet back. Just return to plank pose. Let's arrive here. Let's all just take a shortcut to downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Let's open this up. Bend your knee, bring your heel down towards backside. Just a little lift of the knee up towards the ceiling to help open up the hip. Perfect. Inhale again. You exhale to unwind and step through for the lunge. So right foot to the top of the mat, left heel will turn to the ground behind you. Once you feel solid there, then you can rise. You can always take your time. Warrior 1, reaching upward. Exhale, opening up to the left side of the room, Warrior 2. Here, if you'd like, just stay as you are or adjust the feet underneath you for balance or more sensation. A wider stance to get deeper into that lunge if you'd like. Feel tall up top. Let's follow the right hand forward, angled upper body. Rotate your arms, right hand reaching downward, left hand reaching upward or even over your head towards the front of the room. Stay up as high as you'd like in this pose or go down as low as you'd like. Maybe your right hand touches the ground, or you've got a block or an object there to place the hand or fingertips on. Let's take a breath in, just feel a bit more opening in the chest and hips. Exhale, let's turn, fold, bring the hands down to the mat. Step back, plank pose, just to realign. Hold for a second. Shortcut, down dog. You can always go through the full sequence if you want, but a shortcut is fine. Your inhale to extend left leg up into the air, bend and twist open. Holding just for a second so you can feel a little twist in the spine and hip opener. Breathe in, and the exhale to unwind, step through. Left foot to the top. Once you've landed, right heel turns to the floor, that weight shift back. Solid ground. Inhale, rising when you're ready, Warrior 1. And your exhale to Warrior 2. Settle in, make your foot adjustments. Nice deep lunge, left knee and toes are pointing directly forward. And then follow the left arm or hand forward, angling the upper body. Rotate, reaching up, reaching down, high or low in this pose. Good use of the props here. Perfect. You can even bend the left arm. It might rest lightly on the left thigh. Continue to feel the breath expand and open you a bit more. That's it. Inhale. And our exhale, returning to the earth, both hands. Slide left foot back, plank pose, either a shortcut to down dog or go through a vinyasa or a flow, maybe chaturanga. Up dog or a cobra or sphinx. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Exhale, walk, step or hop both feet up to the top of the mat to a forward fold. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come to standing, reaching into the air. Exhale, hands to heart or down by your side. Just pause for a moment here. Loosen up if you'd like. Shake out the shoulders, get a sip of water. And also grab your block. It could be a book, maybe not too heavy. If you don't have a block, you can even you can roll up a towel, put it between the thighs, or just bring the legs together. Okay? So we're just going to hold onto the block above the knees, inner thighs, little squeeze, just to maintain a connection and awareness of center, energy moving inward. And it's also going to help our hips stay in place as we sit and twist, just a mild twist. So together, let's inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, take your chair pose. It can be a high seat. You don't have to sit down too low unless you'd like to. Then bring hands to heart center. If you need to adjust your blocks so you don't lose it, go ahead and do that. Squeezing the block and just being aware that your hips, or from the waistline down, you're going to stay just like this. We're just going to be twisting just the upper body, right at the belt line. Breathe in. Exhale, pull belly in, squeeze the block, and a mild rotation to your left, to your right. To your right, it's my left. To your right. Yes, good, just like that. It doesn't take much. You don't have to force this or go too far in this rotation. You can even lighten it up even more if you wanted to. So you can really sense, yes, my feet are still balanced on the ground, even distribution of weight, hips reaching back, crown is directly forward. Yes, breathe in. Exhale, let's unwind, place hands on thighs, just kind of press into the thighs to help assist a standing position. Reach up into the air. We're going to go right away into chair pose again. Take your seat, bring hands to heart, adjust the block as needed. Solid, strong. Here we go. Breathing in to extend spine. Exhale, core connection, squeeze the block. Mild rotation to your left. Doesn't have to be much. Even if it's just a little bit to begin, take a breath or two, and maybe you can rotate a little bit more, okay, without compromising what's happening in the lower half of the body. We're doing a twist, even though we are working outer hips. This is a way to kind of get into the hips. A twisting pose in this fashion actually helps create some flexibility in the hips. All right, here we go. Breathing in. And your exhale, unwinding, hands on thighs. Go ahead and grab your block, release it, and a slow forward fold so you can place the block on the floor, and we're done with that. Let's continue the flow from here. Monkey pose. Inhale just to extend the spine. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the mat, walk, step, or hop, both feet back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like, chaturanga dandasana, your choice. You can always take a shortcut to down dog. Yes, inhale, upward facing dog, nice long legs, pointed toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're just moving with breath, we're just flowing. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist open. And unwind and step through for warrior one. Right foot to the top of the mat, left heel turns to the floor, there you go. Rising only when you're ready. Reaching up, exhale, opening. Here's our warrior two. Nice quick adjustments with the feet and legs. Side angle, reach out, rotate. Once you're in place, breathing in, just to expand through the whole front body. There it is. Exhale, fold, turn, bring hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Complete the series as you like to. Here, chaturanga. You can even do like a partial push-up to down dog or skip that completely and go right into downward facing dog. Once ready, inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist open. There we go. Exhale to unwind, stepping through. Left foot's at the top of the mat, right heel plants, hinge from hips, rising up, reaching. Nice opening of the heart here too. Opening to your warrior two, settling in, side angle. Parshva Konasana is the name of that pose in Sanskrit. Reaching up, reaching down, breathing in, filling the lungs. Exhale to turn. Fold, hands to the mat. Step back, plank pose. Complete the series as you'd like. You can modify here always, yes? Meeting in downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths in down dog just to settle into the space. Our next pose is pigeon pose. So let's start with that right leg again, re-extending it up and away. Bend and twist. And then with the exhale, right knee comes down to the floor, a light landing behind the right wrist. Good angle of the right leg. Left knee gently set that down. And then using the left knee and toes just to shift the weight back. You're centering the body, but also providing more sensation in the hips. Your hands will be light here. But you'll inhale just to find some extension through the spine. Exhale, perhaps crawl forward, and then lower your way down. So this is one variation, of course. If you know that you have issues with knee or ankle or hips, you can certainly lie down on your back and do that reclining pigeon pose. So you can lie down and cross right over left like this. Okay. So let's hold here in pigeon for a few breaths and just experience the sensations that are arriving or arising in both legs. With that right leg in front, maybe inner thigh, pelvis, even outer hip and glute. Just experience what's happening there. Left leg is extended back behind you. Nice extension, stretch quality in the hip flexor or upper thigh, low belly, psoas region. We're going to call this pigeon pose prep. Getting prepared for another version of pigeon because we will be doing another version of pigeon. Let's just take 3 more breaths here. After that third breath, just move in slow motion. Rise up to your hands, just lifting up a little bit. Sit off to the right side. You're going to swing this left leg around to the front. We're going to come to Cobbler's pose. Let me sit this way. Soles of the feet together. We're going to make this a bit of a back bend. So bring the hands behind you, lean back a little bit. Roll shoulders back, tip chin up, just a little bit, not much. Just to open up through the heart. And if you just kind of put some pressure into the floor with the hands. Feel as if you're kind of lifting the torso up out of the pelvis. It actually helps to open the hips. The knees might just drop open a little bit, and that's perfect for this. And we're going to return to boat pose. So maybe just lift yourself back up a little so you can bring the hands out front, bring knees together, lifting feet. You can grab hold of the bent knees here. Just return to boat pose. Now let me show you the transition here, okay, because we're going back into pigeon. But this is how we're going to get there. Just watch, okay? So what I'm going to do, just watch me. I'm going to cross my right foot and leg over my left, like that, right over left. And as I'm able, getting over those cross legs, it'll make the right leg be on the floor here. Then I extend the left leg back, right into pigeon, okay? So let's give that a shot. Okay, so we're in boat. We're going to cross right over left. If you can, roll forward. A little push from behind can help here too. Just push, hands in front. That right leg should be on the bottom so you can extend the left leg back and just settle back into pigeon pose. But we're going to the second version. Okay, so you're going to bring your hands by your side here like so. Propped up onto your fingertips. Press, lift. It doesn't have to be all the way up because that's a pretty significant back bend. If you're more at an angle, that's fine. Okay, but we are in this king pigeon style of the pose. Soften. Sit off to the right side, swing the leg around to the front, just another return to boat pose for the transition. Okay, right there. We're going to breathe in, exhale, cross legs again, hands in front, or that other way of getting out of this pose to make your way to plank pose. Return to plank, hold plank for a second. Go ahead and just take a shortcut to down dog. Okay, so our pigeon sequence on the other side. So inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist if you'd like. We unwind and take left knee down to the earth, behind left wrist, angle that leg. Might be a good 45 degrees or less than that even. Right knee comes to the ground. And just shifting the weight back so you find center. Less weight in the hands. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. And you really want to feel like you're going forward, not just going down, but feel like you're going forward. Settling in, make adjustments. Again, use that other variation of this posture by lying on your back and do the reclining variation if you want. Settling in, this is a great, not so much of a resting pose, but certainly a pose where you can just soften or work on softening the body and mind as the body does the work. Just stretching, releasing in these bound up areas, hips and glutes and hip flexors. Excellent. So pigeon pose prep. Take 3 more breaths. Taking your time, moving in slow motion. You might rise up onto the hands, just lifting upper body a little bit. That lean and shift to left side so we can bring the right leg around so we can come to our cobbler's pose. Okay, and taking the back bend version, so hands behind you, little shoulders back, little opening of the chest, tip chin up a little bit, press into the floor to feel the torso rising. See if the legs kind of relax open a little bit more. And then we'll return to our boat pose. Here, you can hold on to the legs as you need to, as you make that transition. We're going to do that same thing, getting into pigeon pose again. This time you're going to be crossing left over right. Okay? So let's go ahead and try that. So cross left over right. If you can, roll forward and catch yourself with your hands in front so the left leg will be on the ground. So you can extend the right leg back, returning to pigeon. So let's take our king pigeon pose variation. Hands by your side, propped up onto fingertips. It's like you're rising into upward facing dog. Being on the fingertips just gives you a little bit more height. Yeah. So you maybe get to this point. All right, then go ahead and just soften. Sit off to left side. Swing the right leg around. Okay, that's that hip at work there. Right back into boat. Okay, moving right away, breathing in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Of course, hands to the side. If you'd like to hop or step back, plank pose. Shortcut or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold here in down dog for a moment. A good bend of the knees, hips high, hands root strongly into earth to get some good extension through the whole back body. And then we'll move, breathing in to fill up your lungs. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, and your fold on the exhale. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming back up, reach high. Exhale, hands to heart or down by your side. Good. And then you can just shake all that out. Wonderful. All right, now with the block, bring the block just in front of you, okay? Just your block out in front of you, okay? Let me show you what we're going to do, okay? So you can just chill there for a second. So we're just going to do a forward fold. This is how we'll get into the next forward fold. Just watch. I'm going to inhale, take my arms up into the air, and as I do that, you can just watch. I'm shifting weight into my right foot. I'm crossing left over right. You can be up on the toes, heel lifted, or plant the foot, either one. I'm going to keep my heel lifted so I can bend the knee. So I'm there, I'm going to fold. You can bring the hands to the floor if you can reach, or use your block, okay? There. And then as you kind of get settled, I know for me, because I have tight outer hips, I really feel this in the outer hips, and you can even just play with this a little bit. A little twist or movement in the body, okay? And we'll come back up, just watch again. I'm rising up, uncrossing, cross the other way, fold. Okay, so that's where we're going. So mountain pose. Let's inhale, take the arms into the air, start shifting weight into the right foot. Keep arms up, cross left over right. Heel lifted or heel down, on toes or knee can be bent, and then we'll fold. Finding the ground, your shins, or maybe this block. Okay? And just settling in, and just noticing this sensation. Adjusting for balance as needed. Breathing into it and then playing with it. Yeah, maybe see what happens when you kind of walk hands over to one side and maybe the other side, just depending on what leg is in front or behind. It might create different sensations. Is there a difference when you're attempting to place that whole heel on the floor or with heel lifted? Coming back to center, get a good core engagement. With an exhale, the back will probably be rounded. So as we come back up, you might just kind of roll back up, which is fine for this. Rolling back up, rising, reaching into the air. Let's uncross the legs. Keep the arms in the air, cross right over left, and then fold when you're ready. Same thing. Heel can be lifted, or it could be down. Find the block, find the ground, find your shins. Settle in, new sensation. Breathing into it, and then adding on to it. Good deep breathing, especially if you find little spots in the body that, ooh, there's more sensation there. So kind of give it a little nurturing with some good breathing. All right, let's come back to center. Core engagement. Inhale, kind of roll your way back up, reaching high, uncross legs, and kind of step into place where you're balanced on 2 feet. We're going to flow. Swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the floor, hop or step back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like, chaturanga. You can always just take a shortcut to down dog. We're just going to pause in down dog for a moment. Okay, once you're in down dog, maybe a breath or two. And then come down to your knees, sitting back into hero pose if that feels okay for you. Even just for a few seconds. If you need to come out of this pose and sit differently, sit differently. Okay, let me show you the next thing we're going to do. So from a down dog position, just watch. Let me see, I'll take my right leg up, bend and twist, almost like I'm setting up for pigeon, but instead I'm going to bring my right knee to the center or between my hands, between the wrists. Here. I'm going to swing that foot off to the left side. Okay? I'm going to step my hands forward a little bit, shifting the weight so I can actually pick up this left leg. Nice extension, getting kind of that glute and hamstring action. Bend the left knee here and tuck it in tightly here behind my right knee and swing this foot off to the right side. Then I'm going to sit back and sit on the floor or have a block handy and use it as a little bench to sit on. Okay, here. So this is cow face pose, just the bottom half. This is the mouth part of cow face. And it is a great outer hip opener, okay? And if this is simple for you, I'll give you some ways you can get deeper into it. If it's not comfortable, we'll find some variations. You can even uncross the leg a little or a lot, okay? All right, so have a block nearby and then come back to a downward facing dog. So we're going to for cow face pose, which is a leg posture and an arm posturing, but we're only going to focus on the legs. Okay, inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. And unwind and gently set the right knee on the floor between the hands at the wrist level. Swing that right foot off to the left side. Step the hands forward a little bit. Lift the left leg. Bend the knee. Tug it in. So cow face pose. To bring more sensation, you can bring the feet forward if you're able. And even folding a bit. If you need less, coming up, even uncrossing the legs a little bit. If you're able, if you can sit on the floor, that gives you a little bit more sensation, or less sensation, uncrossing the legs a little bit. Coming out of the posture, if you're folded, to rise back up, hands behind you, lean back so you can uncross the legs. And do what I call a resit, heels on the floor, lift, resit, come to boat pose. We're going to go back to that pigeon pose where we cross right over left, cross, hands in front, that right leg is on the floor, extend left leg back, king pigeon, so hands by your side, lift. Fold and soften, right hip to the side, let's bring left leg around to the front, cobbler's pose, hands behind you, tipping chin up, little heart opener, hip opener, return to boat, and then cross legs, hands in front, hop back, plank pose. And a vinyasa, if you like, returning to down dog. So that's our little flow there. So we've added the cow face position. Ready for the other side. And inhale to extend left leg into the air, bend and twist. And left knee, you'll bring to the floor, gently landing between the hands at wrist level. This left foot, we'll just kind of swing out to the right side. Step hands forward, just to shift weight force. You can pick up the right leg, maybe a flexed foot just to energize that leg. Bend the knee, then tuck that knee in and behind the left. Swing that foot off to the left side. Sit back, either on the ground between the feet or bring in that block. Again, it's okay if the legs aren't crossed completely like this. If they need to soften a little bit or a lot, please do that. Because there potentially can be a lot of sensation here. Maybe add a fold, even if it's just a little bit. Use your hands on the ground to help prop yourself up to keep a good extended spine. Aware of where the sensation is arising for you. Deep breathing. And perhaps 2 more breaths. If you are folded, maybe rising back up. If you got a block, we're going to come off that block and just sit, lean back so you can uncross the legs. Do a quick reset. Boat pose. Okay, so it's boat pose to pigeon. So we're going to cross left over right. Cross legs, hands in front. That left leg stays on the floor. Extend the right leg back. King pigeon, so fingertips on the floor down by your side. So we draw the straight line right down from shoulder to wrist so we can really lift, soften, sit off to left side, swing right leg around to the front. Little back bend cobbler's pose, hip opener. And back to boat. Breathing in. Exhale, cross legs. Hands in front, hop or step back, plank pose. A vinyasa to down dog or a shortcut to downward facing dog. And we'll put together a sequence. Here we go, back to a basic flow. So inhale, extend right leg up, just straight leg. Right foot to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Back to warrior 1, basic flow. Left heel turns to the floor. Rising here, warrior 1. Exhale, opening, warrior 2. Side angle pose, reach, rotate. Just notice, maybe you've opened the hips a bit more. Maybe you are getting a little closer to the ground with the right hand, maybe. Breathing in. Here we go, exhale, turn. Fold, hands to the floor, back to down dog. Just slide or swipe this right foot back and up into the air. Bend and twist. We're going to our cow face. So right knee between the wrists. Swing that foot out to the side. Step hands forward. Kick that left leg up behind you. Getting that glute and hamstring activated. Bend the left knee. Tuck it in behind the right. Make the little V shape behind you. Take a seat. We're not going to be here too long. Just enough to where we can sit up tall. Maybe add a fold. Use that block if you need to. We're coming right up out of this pose. Lean back. Uncross legs. Reset. Boat. Boat to pigeon. Right over left. Cross. Hands in front. Left leg extends back. King pigeon here. Soften, sit off to right side. Left leg comes around to the front. Little back bend, hip opener. Back to boat. That's our flow. Cross legs, hands in front, hop or step back plank. Maybe add that chaturanga if you haven't already. Downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, straight line. Left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Back to our basic flow. Right heel turns to the ground, yes. Rising when you're ready. Exhale, opening, warrior two. Check in with the wide stance. Good opening in the hip side angle. Reach out, rotate. Reaching high, reaching low. Yeah, maybe the fingers touch the ground. Breathe in, there it is. Exhale, let's turn, hands to the floor. Back to down dog. So sweep that left foot back and right up into the air. Go ahead and bend and twist. Okay, cow face. So left knee to the floor behind, or at wrist level. Swing that foot off to the right side. Step hands forward. Kick right leg up. Bend the knee. Tuck it in tightly. Behind. Make the little space behind you. Sit back. And down on the block or floor. Stay tall or fold for the stretch. Coming right back up. Hands behind you. Lean back so you can uncross. A little reset. Boat. Boat to pigeon. Cross left over right. Left leg stays on the floor as the right leg extends back. King pigeon. Cobbler's pose, sitting off to left side. Right leg comes around. Take the back bend version of this for that hip opener. And boat pose. Okay, hold for a moment here. Okay, go ahead and just set the heels on the floor and just take a comfortable seated posture. Okay, I'm just comfortable any way you like to sit. Let me show you the next thing we're going to do, and this is where the strap can come in handy. Okay, turn this way. Just watch here for a second. I'm going to start with my left leg because my left leg is not as flexible as my right. So I'm going to hug my left knee in, wrap the strap around my left foot here, get a quick little nice hamstring stretch, but also kind of a checking in to make sure I'm still flat on the floor. Still flat on the floor even though I have this left leg in the air. And I'm going to start to slowly take foot across the midline to the opposite side. Now for me, that's not very far to get a stretch sensation down the outer leg, kind of getting into the IT band area. For me, it's about here for the sensation. Okay? For some of you, it might be a little bit more. You might have to play with taking the leg that way, forward, to get the sensation, or more backward, or put a bend in the knee. So you might have to play with this. Just as long as you can keep this hip mostly on the floor. Once we get it off the floor, it turns into a different style of pose. Okay? So we'll see if we can keep that plugged in. Alrighty? So go ahead and grab your strap. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. We're going to start with the right leg. So the left leg can stay straight out on the floor. Hug the right knee in. Wrap the strap around the bottom of the foot. And create a little stretch, extending it up into the air. Good. As you're getting that nice stretch, also checking in with the alignment and connection to the ground, especially that right side. Because now you can slowly start crossing the midline and sending the right foot towards the left side of the room. And just seeing or feeling when something starts to show up, if anything, because it might not, in that kind of outer right leg area. And then and if you're not feeling as much as you would like to or nothing at all, just kind of play with sensation or even adjusting the foot and leg where it is in space. And even if you don't feel anything, quite all right, because this is a great movement to do as a more preventative, so that if you happen to have a tight hip or outer or the IT band, this is a nice little therapeutic stretch. About 2 more breaths. We'll come back up to center. You can bend the knees so you can release the strap. Go ahead and extend the leg out onto the floor. Just pause there in Shavasana for a moment, just so everything softens and realigns. Good. No rush, but whenever you feel ready to move, just draw the left knee in, strap underneath that foot, extending the leg into the air. Don't worry if the leg has a bend in the knee, certainly fine. Feel that nice stretch and connection in alignment to the ground. And then you'll cross the midline with this left leg towards the right side of the room. It might not be much, or it might be a whole lot before you experience sensation. And once you've found it, maybe see if you can just kind of pause with it, be with it, stay in stillness perhaps. Maybe the only movement really is breath. Perhaps sending breath into that space, even if it's just imagined. Sending breath into that area of the body. Wonderful, yes. The outer leg there. 2 more breaths. Let's come back to center. Bend the knee, release the strap. You're done with the strap, so set it to the side. Extend the leg, a little Shavasana preview right there. Got another pose we'll do. Now earlier we did pigeon. We're going to go ahead and take that reclining pigeon pose. Okay, go ahead and bend the knees so your feet are flat on the floor, knees bent. Hold that for a quick second. We'll start by crossing right ankle over left thigh, right there. And then lifting the left foot, drawing the legs towards yourself. This is where the name of the pose is actually eye of the needle, eye of the needle. So you actually thread the needle with your right arm, going through that little space. Yeah, so you can hold on to left shin or left hamstring as you draw the legs in closely as you'd like, or shift them forward to create less sensation. And of course, that's showing up perhaps on that right leg. Your left foot is free, so you can kind of give that a little massage by circling the ankle or flexing, pointing, wiggling the toes if you're able. And of course, breathing into that right hip area. And again, this is a nice alternative to pigeon pose if you're ever needing something a little different to practice. 2 more breaths. Go ahead and release, placing the left foot back onto the floor, uncross the leg, both feet on the floor, pause there. Everything just softens for a moment. And go ahead and cross left over right. Now this could be enough sensation for that outer hip, but if not, hug the knees in, lifting the right foot, thread the needle with the left arm, holding onto right hamstring or your right shin. Of course, as you hug the legs in closer towards your chest, perhaps more sensation shows up. You can experiment with that. Adding movement to the right foot if you'd like. Excellent. Two more breaths. And then you can set the right foot back down onto the floor, uncross the leg. Hold here for a moment. We'll take a twist. You can just hug the knees back into chest, add movement here first, maybe just some circles, rocking sensation, then eventually a twist, maybe sending knees over to the left side of the room while your right arm extends to the right side. Of course, this affects the spine. It also could be a stretch in the hips, low back. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths on this first side. Taking your time, when you feel complete, just return to center. You can take knees down to the other side. Knees to the right as you extend left arm to the left. And 3 more breaths here. Make your way back to center. You might hug the knees in towards your body. Here, just make a decision on what you would like to do next. You're certainly welcome to move right into Shavasana here if you're ready to complete your moving practice. Since we have a few more minutes left, you can certainly add on to complete your practice as you'd like. Maybe a hip opener like Happy Baby pose or Reclining Cobbler's pose. Perhaps an inverted posture by extending legs in the air, or even shoulder stand. Maybe another back bend if you'd like. Repeat your twist or a different style of a twist. Anything you like to add or repeat to finish your moving practice. Once again, just listening to what your body needs and wants. Good. Whenever you feel complete, of course, never a rush. You just make your way into Shavasana or any other nurturing pose or restorative posture for the next few minutes. Complete release and relaxation.
return to the awareness of your breath. Notice your breath. With this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now bringing awareness to your whole body. With this awareness of the body, feel movement return to your body. When you feel ready, moving very slowly, roll onto either side of your body, moving into a nurturing pose. And taking your time, moving in slow motion, just rise and come to a seated posture. Once you're here, just sit up nice and tall, well-lengthened spine. Arms and shoulders relax down by your side. You can even bring hands to heart center. And as we come to the close of our practice, together we bow, saying, Namaste.